I don't know how you're not going to like the Ohio State Buckeyes prospect preview. No program in the nation is loaded with more Sunday players than Ohio State. Russ, take it away.
Well, firstly, the Sunday player that we're going to talk about first right off the bat isn't even eligible. Is their quarterback? Say it. I mean, you talk about a kid that early in the season, I don't think people were saying, "Oh, this kid's going to step in." His California kid came in. What's going to happen? I mean, every week you see the efficiency, you see the calmness in the pocket, you see the release quickness. I mean, this kid, there's something to like about this kid. I think this kid's going to be a guy that everybody gets excited about next few years. But they're good all over. I think the interesting thing is their O line is mostly underclassmen. They don't really have a guy on that O line that you say this is a guy that's going to be a draft pick. But their skill position, whether it's C.J. Donaldson, the running back, big physical runner, Carnell Tate, the receiver who doesn't get nearly the credit of Jeremiah Smith because Jeremiah Smith is the super freak. So everybody gives him the credit and says he's the superstar. This Carnell Tate on almost every team in the country would be the premier receiver and would be getting all the attention. I think it's going to be a great challenge for Indiana dealing with Tate and Jeremiah Smith, who is a legit top 5 contender if he were eligible for the draft. Their tight end, I always screw this up, Kasmarek, big, good-looking kid with good hands, has a knack for making plays when they need it, and he's also a good blocker. I'm not sure he's going to get an opportunity as a draft pick, probably a priority free agent. Defensively, that's where you just see just loads of talent. I mean, whether it's Kenyatta Jackson, who I got to tell you, when you watch a game with Ohio State, there may be some better players on the field. There is nobody that looks better in a uniform. I mean, this guy literally looks, and you don't want to draw the negative comparison, but what I remember back in the day, Alonzo Spellman, that's what this guy looks like when you look. He has arms that are going down to the ground. He's ripped and shredded. This kid looks like everything you want. He is going to go higher in the draft than anybody's projecting because when teams get to measure him, they work this kid out and they see what he could be. Oh, man, they're going to get excited and say, this kid's got some special traits. McDonald, you mentioned before, Caden Curry doesn't get enough credit as an edge guy. He's a good football player, had a big game against Michigan.
Little undersized.
Little undersized for sure. But I'll tell you one thing, against Michigan, he didn't look so undersized. He was making some plays. He was disrupting stuff. I mean, he's a good player. I mean, Jackson is a man. If you watch this game today, watch him. I think he's 97, if I remember correctly, in the jersey. I mean, he is a pretty-looking guy on the hoof. Their 2 linebackers, I mean, people are going to be flipping the coin up until the draft day to see who goes first because you're talking about 2 kids who are big, but they can both run. I mean, it's uncommon to have one guy like this. Nonetheless, 2 guys like this. I mean, Sonny Styles, you watch this kid play. He runs like a deer. He's explosive. And then you see Arvell Reese. I mean, you talk about a kid that can drop, put a foot in the ground, and explode forward to make a play in coverage. I mean, wow, is it impressive. And I think what's so impressive about how much talent they have on defense, that there are times you forget Caleb Downs is even doing anything because he's not asked to make any plays. Their front 7 is just dominating, and Caleb's just, yep, nothing's going on. I'm just going to do my thing. And he's an elite prospect.
Yeah.
I mean, against Michigan, you didn't see a ton of plays from him because Michigan couldn't get past the front line after that first drive or 2. So, I mean, it's really interesting. Downs is a hell of a player, and I think he's going to be a top 10 or 15 pick. But they have so much talent up front. Sometimes you don't get to see him do as much. And I got to say, the cornerback, Igbinosun, you talk about a kid that has made huge strides. Last year, all this kid was grab, hold, push, shove.
16 penalties last year.
Yeah. Now, in this past game, he got 1. I thought it was a fringy call.
But just 4 on the season, so he cut it
4
down.
on the season, yeah. And he's huge, 6'2", 190. And you look at a kid who can run. He's got hips. This kid can change directions. I mean, I look at him and, hey, I understand. Teams that are maybe going to play a lot more zone and stuff, maybe he's not your cup of tea. But I'll tell you one thing. If you're a team like Baltimore who just wants to put a guy on a receiver and say, sick him, oh, man, I'd be drooling over this kid. Let me get his hands on a guy. Let him punch a guy in the face at the line of scrimmage and just trail him all over. Oh, this kid's got something to him. I really like this kid. I think he's going to be a better – and he's been a good college player. Another guy I think is going to be a better pro than he was in college.
Yeah, and he's not too far off from Domani Jackson, who we dubbed the first-round pick. Physical, stick his nose in the dirt against the run. For me, Arvell Reese, I think, is shaping up to be the potential number one pick. Depends on if the Titans stay there or not, obviously. But I think both Arvell Reese and Caleb Downs, honestly, they're 1 and 2 on my big board. Top two players in the draft. That's how I see it. I think they could both very well go inside the top five. Sonny Styles, I mean, he came into the season with all the hype, and Reese has kind of erased him from the headlines. But to me, Styles is a top 20 pick all day. I think Caden McDonald sneaks into the back end of the first round. Carnell Tate was our preseason one wide receiver. I still have him as the top draft eligible wide receiver. And then our guy, Will Donahue, who's been cranking out the scouting reports, brought my attention to Brandon Innes. He said, keep an eye on this kid. The next wide receiver, buried on the depth chart, junior, 6 foot, 200 pounds, uh, inside, outside versatility, also returns kicks, speed, acceleration, quick release off the line of scrimmage. If he was playing on another program, he'd probably be the leading receiver. Carson Hinsman, I think the redshirt junior, not sure he comes out, but he is considered one of the top center prospects. I don't think you mentioned CJ Donaldson, who didn't really have the season that I was hoping for. But you see, he's a situational runner. When they need short yardage, goal line situations, in comes Donaldson. He's actually lost some weight this season, and I'm not sure I like that. You mentioned Kazmarek, Max Clare, just a killer combination at tight end, and Ethan Onawa, an underclassman tackle who could come out. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. We've even got the future. I mean, we've got scouting reports on Jeremiah Smith already. You mentioned Julian Sain. How about Bo Jackson? I mean, this guy's made me a believer, and
no doubt he is. I think he's better than people give him credit for. I think people, when they hear the name, they instantly almost want to dismiss him, like,
yeah,
just that name. But
hard name to live up to.
it is a hard name to live up to, and we should note he isn't related. But I'll tell you one thing: he is a really good football player. He is, and we talk. You and I have done this forever, so we know one of the things that separates running backs who make it from running backs who don't is the guys who can keep their feet and keep going versus tackles in close quarters.
Yeah.
A lot of guys that get tackled that are really good talents, but they get tackled early. They don't break that first tackle. They don't survive. So it's going to be very interesting to see how he does at the next level. I'm intrigued when he gets that opportunity. I think the kid's got something to him.
Yeah, and I think the coaching staff kind of alluded to that's where his biggest improvement this season is being able to make that first defender miss. And it's not always pretty, right? Because his feet are a little bit choppy. It's not the most graceful style, but he's got that deceptive elusiveness, enough wiggle to make you miss, and then he picks up yards after contact. He's a good short yardage runner. He catches the ball out of the backfield. Tremendous contact balance, but I've been very impressed, especially in the recent weeks, with Bo Jackson, the freshman running back out of Cleveland, Ohio. And that'll do it for the Ohio State